What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are talking about the AAF and more specifically the Orlando Apollos, aka the best team in the AAF. So this game was pretty competitive all the way up to halftime. I believe it was like 17-15 by halftime or something like that, something of that sort. But anyway, towards the third quarter, it started really getting out of hand. Let's start off with the first quarter, actually. Kenneth Farrow has been running, formerly of the San Diego Chargers back when they were in San Diego, I believe. I believe he was with San Diego. Kenneth Farrow really put a number on the Apollos. He was doing anything in the pass game and the run game. Even got a touchdown, had the first score for the Commanders in this game, and was pretty much doing whatever he wanted in this game. Now, the Apollos defense and the Commanders defense were going back and forth. They're making some decent plays. And like I said, it wasn't too much of a high-scoring game by halftime, about 17-15. I can't remember the actual score. But with that being said, towards the third quarter, started to get a little out of hand for both teams, actually. You look at the beginning of the third quarter when the Commanders went up about 21-12, I believe. And then on top of that, Garrett Gilbert fumbles basically in his own end zone, and the Commanders pick it up and run it in for a score. And from there on, it's 29, I believe, to about 12 or 16 or something like that, or 29-17, 29-17, I believe. And from there on, I'm like, okay, maybe this game might be over. The Commanders are getting a commanding lead, ironically enough, and they're pretty much running away with this game. Here comes Jalen Marshall, here comes Charles Johnson, and then towards the end of the game, here comes D'Ernest Johnson. And Garrett Gilbert threw for 393 yards in this game. I mean, he was on fire. His deep ball accuracy was on point. Sure, there was, Charles Johnson and Jalen Marshall had to come back for some of those balls, but they were on point. He made the right decisions. That's what you want from your quarterback, and I mean, he did a fantastic job. Jalen Marshall, we have to see who is the best wide receiver on this team. Not many teams, especially in the AAF, are really having that dilemma. Who's their best wide receiver in a good way? You have Jalen Marshall, who catches pretty much everything. Charles Johnson is a legitimate deep threat. I mean, who is the best wide receiver on this team? Jalen Marshall, as you guys know, from Ohio State, was drafted to the New York Jets. And then you have Charles Johnson, I believe from Grand Valley State or something like that. And he was, I don't know if he was drafted or undrafted to the Minnesota Vikings. I remember seeing him play for the Minnesota Vikings. And I think he played with another team. The Panthers are coming to mind, but I don't think I'm right on that. But the Panthers are coming to mind. But anyway, I mean, they did a phenomenal this game. You look at Charles Johnson, he had 192, I believe, 192 yards. It was 192 or 193, 190 plus yards in receiving on 7 receptions. He did fantastic. Legitimate deep threat for the AAF. He is definitely going to find himself on a roster in the NFL, just like Jalen Marshall. The running game did struggle a bit. It was not what it was against the Atlanta Legends, because this is a better defense, a better team they have here. Akeem Hunt didn't really have the success he had against the Legends. I believe they had 2 rushes for like -4 yards. Not very good. But then you look at D'Ernest Johnson, who really helped to ice that game at the end of the game. He just ran that clock out, just milked the clock. He was getting first down after first down after first down. I mean, we saw a complete offense. This might be the best offense in the AAF right now. We're talking about, I believe, 32. I believe it was like 32 or 34 offensive points from the offense. The other one was a pick six. The pick six only counts for 6 points, obviously. So, and then they had to go for 2. So I believe 34 points last week were from the Apollos offense. And then you look at this game, in which they won 37 points. And like I said, they had another pick 6 in this game. Keyser or something like that. Keyser, I forgot his name, that cornerback that ran in for the pick 6. I mean, he did fantastic. That was a perfect read. I mean, he was behind on that a little bit. A perfect read running into the end zone. But yeah, he also had an interception in this game. So I believe that's about 31 points in this game from the Apollos offense, and everybody was saying in my comment section, and I watched the highlights to the other game too, that the Commanders were in. Their defense looked legit. Their defense looked great, but I guess that was just against a bad San Diego Fleet team, and the Orlando Apollos are now scoring 31 points per game offensively, 30 plus points per game offensively. They're scoring right around 38 points per game. So They're looking really good right now. I'm very excited to see what the Apollos are going to do in the future. Hopefully they make it to the championship round. Let me know what you guys in the comment section below. 20 unanswered points, guys. 20 unanswered points did the Orlando Apollos score on the Commanders, supposedly the best defense in the AAF. Now, the Apollos are now 2-0, and they're headed back home to face the Memphis Express. And we'll see how that game turns out. We're looking at potential upsets in this league right now. Keep in mind, these teams have only been playing with each other for a little amount of time. So they might lose some games they should win, and teams might win some games they should lose. So we have to be mindful of the Express. They were a little bit competitive in the game that just happened. So they were a bit competitive. So we'll see what Christian Hackenberg does and Zach Stacy and company with that offense there with Memphis. But with all that being said, leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and go Apollos.